came to a point where I was like, man, I just have to build my convictions. You know, I have to understand biblically how this makes sense. I got a line paper, a line notebook, and I wrote down all the roles and responsibilities of a DJ, just kind of list by list, almost like a requirement list to be a DJ. And then on each line, I found scriptures that could tie into that role. So like music, what does God say about music? You know, Ephesians 5 talks about music, you know, making music, psalms, hymns to the Lord. Then I started thinking like, what about events, celebrations? Shoot, the whole Old Testament is full of festivals and instructions on how to gather and celebrate. Jesus was always breaking bread with people. So I'm like, okay, cool. Using your talents, using your gifts, giving it to the Lord. So I made sure I had deep convictions on my decision of being a DJ, because I knew the reason that those people were concerned is all they've seen were DJs that were, you know, in the world, you know, just wilding. So I knew that was going to be something different, that was going to be monumental. So I decided that I'm just going to lock in and get it done. So, yeah.
That's well said. That's definitely well said. I could definitely, I think you are the first Christian DJ I came across. You know, I've heard of the people who are Christian DJ, but I haven't never like interact with them or even have a conversation or see
Yeah.
anything. So it's definitely great to having this conversation with you. And I can just imagine, you know, just even being a Christian DJ, there are some challenges that you had to overcome, you know, in terms of how you go about marketing, how you go about, you know, getting all these different events. So I wonder if you can like elaborate about some of those challenges.
Yeah, man. That's all in the game of entrepreneurship. You know, if people don't know you have a business, you ain't gonna get business. So it started with just word of mouth, as that is always very powerful, because my work itself, you know, it spoke for itself. In other words, like I was a Christian DJ, but I was actually good at it, you know, because usually like you'll have somebody's youth pastor, somebody's, you know, parent, you know, playing through a Spotify playlist or something. So it just stuck out. Like you have this guy, this young guy playing relevant music, doing it skillfully. So people talk. So for a while, I wasn't promoting it too much. But once I really started treating it like a business, I decided like, all right, I really need to learn how to market myself. And I invested in a lot of marketing courses, from the Ty Lopez's to the um uh well, Ty Lopez is one, but I forget all the other names. But there's tons of social media influencers. Um Miss Brittany, she was one. Um Social Proof podcast. Like I started really just studying a lot of the different things out there that talk about marketing, and then just applied it, trial and error. And you know, it's been 5 years of me kind of intentionally marketing myself, and I'm still learning, still don't got to figure it out. You know, now TikTok, you know, it's a new beast for me, and I'm learning how to do that, and it's going well. But yeah, I'll say the challenges is just really trusting the process. Like you'll hear about, you know, a formula or a method that works for one person, but you start thinking to yourself, is it going to work for me? Like it looks like it worked for them, but I'm a month in and I don't see no progress. You could feel like you're not making any progress, but um, you know, it's just sticking to it. And I think that's what I've learned. And it kind of brings me back to sports. I was an athlete, so it's like it's not practice that makes perfect. It's perfect practice that makes perfect. So like with marketing, I just have to make sure I'm getting credible resources, and then I'm testing it, and that actually has solid results. Because there was times I was sometimes taking not so credible resources or advice, and I will always wonder why I'm in a rut. So yeah, that's been the challenge. Find what works and then sticking to it.
That's well said. That's well said. I guess, you know, my next question, if you're talking to someone else, you know, somebody who's interested in becoming a DJ, you know, using their DJ skills for God. I mean, like you said, you know, it's not something so common that you can just Google search. You know, what would your advice be to that person on how to get started?
Yeah. Start with DJing for your friends. You know, AKA you can be the Spotify, just the go-to Spotify person, that's playing a list at a party. Um, just bring people together. Understand that DJing is a tool. Like for me, DJing, it's not, there's DJs, that like to show off their skills and really get into competitions. I'm not that guy. Even though I really like that stuff, it's not the main focus. I think in general, if anybody just wants to be a DJ, um, get yourself, I would say, a DJ controller. Go to OfferUp, go to eBay, somewhere we can get some secondhand equipment and just start. And the only way to get good at it is just to keep doing it. You gotta get the method. So let me simplify it. Get yourself some cheap DJ equipment. Hang out with your friends and play music around your friends. Once you get comfortable around your friends, then you can start having your friends invite more friends. And if you're doing well, then it's going to naturally grow. If you're not doing well, you should be getting feedback from your friends. They might tell you. So yeah, start with yourself, DJ around yourself, get comfortable around DJing, then work your way out, and it'll be great.
That's well said. That's well said. I guess my next question, because you brought up playlists. How do you go about, selecting the different music that you select to put into a playlist? You're gonna play at a song or play at an event. How do you go about doing that?
Man, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd for music. Like that was the first thing for me with DJing was I wasn't a DJ. I was just somebody who loved music. So um I make sure that I'm plugged into any type of resource or outlet that promotes music. So I'm following the music blogs on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever they have stuff where they're posting new music, I'm following them. I'm following other artists because the artist community is actually smarter than people think. So they're usually going to share their friends' music. So you might discover an up and coming artist because they're friends of an already big artist. The YouTube vortex is real. Like they always giving recommendations of big and small artists. Yeah, so YouTube, SoundCloud. I like to call SoundCloud like the thrift store for music. Like you don't know what you're gonna find there because they're usually not flagging or taking down stuff that people post. So like you can really dig in there. I will find an artist and then I will go to who they follow and then I'll find artists like that. And then lastly, following producers. People sleep on the fact that producers work with a lot of artists, big and small, like and a lot of times the beat, a lot of people say this, the beat kind of carries the song. People start with the beat and go from there. So following producers is kind of I think my best method of discovering new talent or staying in touch with what's relevant because the beat makers drive the culture actually.